So we want to start out with a word from someone you'll recognize. This video from PR Newswire.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. I drive 200 miles an hour for a living, so it makes sense that I have life insurance, but so many people don't. That's just an unnecessary risk. It means leaving your loved ones to suffer financially if something happens to you. It's a struggle my family knows. As teenagers, both my parents lost their fathers. Neither had life insurance. Don't take that risk. Get life insurance. For help, go to lifehappens.org.
Omaha's retirement strategist is here to give us his take on life insurance. Darrell Bryant is the president of D. Bryant Retirement Strategies.
And he hosts Retirement Strategies Radio. The show airs on 1110 KFAB right here in Omaha. Good morning, Darrell.
Good morning.
Darrell.
Good to see you. September,
Good to see
Life Insurance Awareness Month, right?
Yes,
we
it
saw
is indeed.
Danica right there. What's,
Yep.
what's your take on life insurance?
Well, take on life insurance is, it's probably very overlooked. Nobody wants to talk about insurance. Who wants to pay insurance premiums? I don't want to pay my auto insurance premium, let alone, life insurance premium. But life insurance is one of those things, unlike disability or health insurance, where you're really taking care of a loved one. It's really it's a love move as opposed to a protective, device, because you don't get anything if you're the purchaser and the insured. So it's a nice thing. Danica had, some real history. Both of her parents passed away early, and her parents' folks, and so her mom's mom was left with seeing her grandmother, Danica's grandmother, sell the farm, and big life changes. That happens, and it's real life, and so the neat thing is you can do some more creative things these days than you could before, and indeed, it's not all bad. It's not all, nobody likes to pay. Here's the way I put it: nobody likes to pay insurance premiums, and the insurance guy is not the most popular guy in town until he shows up on the doorstep with a $500,000 tax-free, probate-free check. Then he's the most popular guy in town.
So do you recommend life insurance? Is that part of the conversation when folks come into you, they're planning for retirement? How do you factor in life insurance?
Right, great question. Since we work primarily with near retirees and so forth, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that life insurance is no longer needed when you get ready to retire. That's what you're told all the time growing up. Hey, the kids are grown, why would I need it? But that's not true at all, because even if all you want to do is go into retirement, and if you're trying to retire and your income or your lifestyle is dependent upon both Social Securities, for example, the passing of one spouse means that you're going to lose one of the Social Securities. Well, let's say that those Social Securities are both a couple $1,000s a month for husband and wife, for example. Well, that's $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year forever. That goes away, and if you haven't done the math correctly to determine whether or not that was really needed, then you could find yourself having to rearrange your life, late in the game.
Can we get into cost a little bit? I know, I looked at some life insurance plans over the last few years. There's a different cost depending on what your needs are.
Yeah, let's run through the young folks, like yourself, and then we'll talk. You're a young guy.
Congratulations,
Come on.
Thank you, Darrell.
And then we'll talk about the people that are getting ready to retire. So when you're getting when you're younger, you would look at a term insurance contract. Of course, that's like renting insurance. You're just going to pay your premium, and it's kind of like auto insurance. And if you don't use it, you lose the dollars. All right. You should know that 0.5% of all term insurance policies ever purchased has ever paid the death benefit. 0.5%, all right? Why? Because the premium goes up on you, doesn't it? And eventually you outlive that cost, and it jumps up, and you say, forget it, I'm just not going to do that. And then there are permanent forms of insurance. There's whole life, there's universal life. Whole life would have the highest cost per thousand. It's like a meat is, you purchase meat on a price per pound, okay? Insurance you buy on a cost per thousand, life insurance, or whole life being the most expensive. Then there's a hybrid product called Universal Life, and it's a pretty neat product where you have a term insurance cost inside. That would be the lowest cost, and then you do have a savings component to that, so you're building some dollars. A common thread of all of those is that the death benefit would flow to the beneficiary tax-free, probate-free, creditor-proof, et cetera. So that's a good thing. But when you get ready to retire, in what, 40 years or so?
Yeah, hopefully 10.
Because you're only, what, 20? When you get ready to retire, folks will come in the office and they'll say, you know what, I don't know about the insurance thing. Let's talk about a more well-to-do client. And let's liken this to a bank. Let me tell you about one of these more creative products these days. Had a client in just last week, 65-year-old couple, has a couple $100,000 laying around. It's really excess funds. They don't want to put it in the market. They're not market sensitive with these particular dollars, so they want it safe. They want it liquid. 65-year-old. Let's pretend he walks into the bank, and you tell me if this is a pretty good deal. The guy walks into the bank. No, he really is an insurance company, but let's liken it that way for the viewers. Walks into the bank and says, hey, I got a couple $100,000, you know, in my checking account. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pay me a rate of return, Mike, that is better than you're paying anybody else on CDs, better than anybody else, by, you know, even twice, okay? But I need this money to be perfectly liquid. I can't be tying it up for 5 years or even a year, okay? So if I walk in here next year and I say, give me my money, I'm gonna need that money back plus the interest. But if I should walk out the door and, as I say, get hit by a bus or pass away, right? I want you to pay my family, how about $400,000, not $200,000, 400,
Double.
tax-free, probate-free right now, okay? On the other hand, if I should walk out the door and I have or my wife has a nursing home need, that same $400,000, I want to be able to use that while we're living to pay for long-term care stuff, okay, in-home, you know, at a facility. That's a pretty nice deal. So fully liquid, better than bank rate of return, right?
I'm just thinking like the
Covers
bank are
life
laughing you out of there.
Listen, yeah, and what's the banker going to say? See ya.
Nice
right?
try.
Forget about it.
Yeah,
If
banks
you-
don't do that.
I feel like so many people, Darrell, watching now, they've got questions about the life
Sure.
insurance they currently have or
big
maybe
deal.
don't have. If you want to take that first step to get life insurance, call for a life insurance x-ray, as Mike put it prior to the break.
Yeah, and this offer is good for the first 15 qualified callers. The number to call right there on the screen, 402-932-2141. Darrell, what is the life insurance x-ray? What's involved with that real quick? We've just got a few seconds left.
Yeah, listen, do you need it? That's the bottom line. Should you even be considering it? Could we get away without having it, or would it be a consideration? There are some very important questions that should be asked, and once you have them asked, then it becomes very apparent.
Gotcha.
And again, the number to call, it's 402-932-2141. Darrell joins us each
Darrell,
Monday.
good stuff out of you this
Thank
morning.
you.
you.
All right, have a
Guys,
good
have a good
Appreciate
day.
it.
Guest of the Morning Blend.